what advice do you have for somebody who's like, this sounds like exactly what I want to do? Like, what advice do you have, like logistically and operationally, things that we need to consider to execute what you have been executing since 2012?
Yeah. It's an immense amount of work.
Yeah.
It's, in some ways it's harder than being in a kitchen. Some ways it's easier for sure. Cause I don't have the grind of every single solitary day. The margins are probably less than in restaurants at times, because you're renting a kitchen, much like you would have, with a lease. But we try to pay everyone really good. I always want to keep paying people a little bit more.
Well, you're not going to give them 40 hours in a week. You're going to give them one event every few weeks.
Right.
So like you got to give them reason to
Yeah.
keep them around.
And that matters a lot. Like, these people are spending their time choosing to do something that I love so much. And this has become a family. I think that would probably be one of my advice points. Like, understand that people who have worked Farmer's Dinner, we've handpicked them. They've become literally family to us. And I wouldn't be here in any way, shape, or form if it wasn't for those people.
Mm-hmm.
I am a vessel. And on my best day, maybe a conduit, but that's about it.
So you're throwing out some variables that people might not consider. Like, you're going to have to pay people well because you're not giving them, like we said, 40, 50 hours a week. So there has to, the pull has to be there. Why you say they have to be family? Like, why is like the quality of the relationship so much more important for what you do versus a restaurant?
Sure. So what we do is we're setting up a restaurant rather than a restaurant set up every day, which is huge. So what we have to do when we set up a Farmer's Dinner is, you're pulling tables in a hot sun. In a restaurant, you have air conditioning. You have all those things. We're literally lugging pots and pans to a commissary kitchen. We're setting up a makeshift kitchen. And then it's going to be like, so we have a dinner this Saturday. It's going to be 90 degrees out. Like, I'm going to be cooking over a live fire at 90 degrees. That's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also really hot.
Yeah.
And like, we know we're chefs, like we forget to drink water. We forget to do all that stuff. There's something that when you're in a foxhole together, you end up becoming brothers and sisters. And it's hard work.
I feel you. What about logistically, as far as like tools and services that you use to manage all this? Like, how are you getting the word out? Like, how are people signing up? How are you selling tickets? How are you promoting these events?
Yeah, so obviously social media is huge for us. I started a Facebook page a long time ago, and we're close to 4,000, people, which is big in our area. I use a mailing list. MailChimp has been really great, and then we surpassed, their free quota. So then you start paying for that.
1,000, right? Over 1,000.
Yeah, I think it was over 1,000. We're at like $8,000 or something like that now.
What are you doing to collect these emails?
So in the beginning, that really was a big thing for us. So I had a clipboard and I just asked for people's email addresses. What we do now, since we're much more tech savvy, obviously we have kind of a capture. When you go to the website, there's a thing that, hey, we offer 3 recipes that we love that are farm to table related, just for signing up for our email.
Yeah. And like it's that famous, give then ask, right? Or like, you can't just ask for someone's email. You can. I mean, that's what you're doing. I think that the people that show up to you, people that are going to drive to your event at a farm, I mean, clearly they're a demographic of person. They're going to want to know when the next one is. Yeah. So if they're like driving to an event to support something, then ask for an email, because they're telling you they want to be there. This is for them.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing, like you're saying, like, what's a easy pop-up, right? Like, what's something that I can create? What we did at Restaurant Unstoppables, we put together a list of all the books ever recommended. Oh, cool. Right? Like, we put together a list of all the tools ever recommended. So you just give us your email, and we cut like 150 hours out of your life to not have to research all this stuff. Like, here's awesome. What's been recommended. Yeah. So like, adding value in a short little burst in exchange for an email is a great way to build your list. What else?
Yeah, so I love talking about value. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
Jab, jab, punch, or jab, jab, hook. Sorry. He talks about it all the time. Like, I said in the beginning of this, I think my greatest asset and also my greatest folly is that I just give a shit about people. Yeah. And what I try to do is I try to say, hey, listen, just talk to me. In the beginning, there was this lady who emailed me, and she's like, hey, your events look amazing. And I don't think I've told this story. And she's like, I would die to go. I have a couple of kids. And she's like, I'm going to save up and go. And I was like, I don't want you to be my guest. And like, I wanted to do that. And like, that isn't about me putting out an email saying, look how great I am. Like, for me, I want the attention back on the farmers, right? Because if the farmer's dinner doesn't exist without the word farmer in its name, you know, then we're just dinner. That's not cool. So with us, I want to be that person who, like I said, you know, is a firefly in the midst of darkness. Like, I can't be a lantern. I can't be a lighthouse. Now, that's too much pressure. Like, but if I can just light up a little bit and we can all do that, it changes the game.
I love it, man. That's great stuff. So back to like the logistics of this. You're collecting emails. What about like actually selling a ticket? How do you sell a ticket online?
Yeah, so we our system is pretty easy. You just go to thefarmersdinner.com, and then so we use WooCommerce plugin. Our CMS is WordPress. We were able to hook it up through Stripe. Real simple, straightforward, and so somebody can go in, purchase a ticket, has all our disclaimers on there. You know, hey, you're going to a farm, so please don't wear your stilettos.
So what about those disclaimers? Is this something that you just build up over time as like simple reminders, or like is that a legality thing too?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So with us, our dinners are difficult, right? So if you walk in and you go, hey, purchase a ticket, P.S. I'm gluten-free, vegan, and I don't really like olive oil.
Yeah,
I'm screwed. So one of the disclaimers is when you purchase a ticket, if you have any dietary restrictions, please place it in the little comment section, and that goes to us. You learn that by screwing that up in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, it's all of your failures lead to successes. You know, our dinners are predicated on the weather. Like, shitty days mean, you know, we're having shitty days too.
Yeah.
And so that's like an important part of it. Other things that I think are important that we learn throughout the course of it is, I don't want to tell you what you're eating very far out. So we have done 380 different courses, and we've never repeated one. Once something happens at a farmer's dinner, it's buried forever. I want to do that because I wanted to show the diversity of local products. That, you know, you can make a summer vegetable pizza, but how many times, like, I want somebody to go, I can only have this once, and I'm never going to have it again. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. So with the website, you have the WordPress website. You're using what plugin again?
So we're using see, now you just asked me.
I know. I just want to make sure that
WooCommerce.
WooCommerce.
Yeah.
It's a simple plugin that allows you to connect to Stripe, which is the how you're charging people. They're paying through Stripe.
Yep.
They take their cut. And then you're also able with Woo to put in disclaimers. What else can you get from that service? That's
Woo's cool because we sell merch through there. We have shirts and hats and like books and stuff like that. So we can.
I don't know if you guys have. If you're watching the video, I don't know if you've seen these strategically placed, lovely books right here on the table.
Yeah, so I mean, we can do that. We also use an add-on called Event Ticket Pro, and that gives us like a whole calendar of events. That's how we generate our.
So it's another plugin, or does it pull people off of your website and put them onto?
No, it's all integrated seamlessly.
Nice.
We don't want anyone to have to leave the site. Like, if it's more than 3 clicks, we kind of screwed up. You know.
Yeah.
We have no attention span nowadays.
Yeah,
so.
I feel that.
So that's like the core of it. I mean, it's really simple and straightforward. Yeah.
Beautiful. Good to know. So anything else that would, like, if somebody's listening to this and they're in California and they're like, this is a cool angle or like whatever, and they want to try to replicate what you've done, any other like little tips of the trade after doing 80 of these?
Yeah. Have a really good commissary kitchen. The investment is more than we thought in the beginning because, like, you're having to buy pots, pans, and like large quantity stuff because depending on what you want to do. For us, 50 people was manageable as we started to grow more and do events for 125, 175, and then 325. It requires a lot more of an army. Washing 5 courses of dishes for 300 people is really crappy.
Would it be cheaper to rent the dishes?
So we did for a while, but then you look at cost projections over time, and it ends up being cheaper to own it. So it's that constant back and forth. Like, if you really, really, really want a restaurant or you really want to do this industry, learn how to do great spreadsheets and crunch numbers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I need to find somebody who's good at that if I'm ever going to open a restaurant.